Welcome to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland. Today, we're talking about the NFL, and we're taking a look at the Falcons and the Dolphins. A great matchup here for the Dolphins. They have an opportunity to go 3-0 in this division, something they haven't done in a long time. But they have a tough opponent in the Atlanta Falcons. We know what they can do offensively with Julio Jones, Roddy White, Douglas. They will be without Steven Jackson. Looks like he's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. They have Witherspoon on the defensive side of the ball that might be out. But they still are going to give guys fits. And it's going to be a task for the Miami Dolphins. Miami has been doing very well with Tannehill. He's been spreading the ball all around very well. Brian Hartline has picked up right where he left off last year, being that secure target. They're starting to work in Mike Wallace. They're starting to get him the ball, find ways to get him the ball, and it's been very effective. Cameron Wade on the defensive side of the ball. These guys have been really getting pressure on the quarterback and trying to really put together and get a collective team effort to try to get in the front of this division. This weekend, though, it's going to be very, very tough and imperative for the Miami Dolphins to be able to run the football effectively. We know what this defense can do in Atlanta, can get pressure. We saw them get turnovers last week, and they definitely can make you turn the ball over. So Tannehill has to do an excellent job of managing the football game and not turning the ball over and giving Matt Ryan and that high-powered offense extra opportunities to score the football. That's the key. That is totally the key. And hey, on defense for the Dolphins, it makes it easier for them. They don't have to worry about a Steven Jackson. Not saying that they don't have running backs out there, but they don't have to worry about that. So this is going to be something that they can take advantage of in their home stadium and try to get a win. But when all's said and done, I'm taking Matt Ryan and those Falcons. I think that offense is great. And we saw what Julio did last week. I expect that to continue in this football game. Now we're going to take a look at some other games around the league. And first, we're going to start with the Chargers and the Titans. A very good matchup here. We've seen what Phillip Rivers has done over the last 2 weeks. They gave up some points in the first game. They fought to the end, came back, and got the win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, of course, they're going to be facing a elusive running back in CJ, but I expect the Chargers to win this football game. They have a better quarterback. They're more fluent, and I expect what Phillip Rivers has done to continue. We look at the next matchup here. We're going to be talking about the Giants and the Panthers. Panthers can't figure out who they are, what they are, and whether they have heart or not. Now, this team is predicated on Superman Cam Newton. They're going to have to get the push over the hump. They're going to have to score points, put points on the board. This defense has shown that they can get the job done, but I don't expect them to get the job done against Eli, even though he's turned the ball over, about 9-10 times so far. I expect the Giants to get the job done here. They're going to get the win here and finally get off that 0-2 schneid. Next, we move on to the 49ers and the Colts. Niners coming off that heartbreaking win against their kryptonite team, the Seattle Seahawks. Colts continuing to do what they need to do at 1-1, getting the win last week. Or losing last week. Sorry, they won week 1. They're going to win this week, though. I just don't see how they can continue to lose football games and Kaepernick continue to do the things that he's doing here. It just seems that at times he's ineffective. Now, granted, they did an excellent job last week of shutting down that offense. We know what Anquan Bolden did in game 1. I just think that this defense of the Colts can see what the Seahawks have done, can duplicate that, and we know how well Luck is, and he will take care of business against the 49ers. Seattle, Jacksonville. I'm not even going to talk about that. Seattle takes the win. We all know why. Broncos, Raiders. Look, man, I know the Raiders, they have Terrell Pryor. They're trying to get momentum. They actually come out and play you hard, but they're not going to be able to play hard enough to take and win against Peyton Manning. Just not going to happen. The Broncos are going to take the win there, and it's strictly because Peyton Manning is going to just gut them. So that's just that. So we have some great matchups going on around the league. It's going to be an interesting weekend. Hopefully it'll be just exciting as last week. Now we're going to take a look at another matchup. Packers-Bangles. Both teams are 1-1. Both teams are going to be looking to try to continue the momentum of getting the win. Last week, Packers completely dismantled the Redskins defense, made them look worse than a high school football team. We know what Aaron Rodgers can do. And really, when we looked at this team in the beginning of the year, we didn't think that their weapons would be as effective without Greg Jennings. Well, we've been proven wrong, and partially because the Redskins defense just absolutely does not play very well. On the other side of the ball, Bengals came out, did what they needed to do against the Pittsburgh Steelers, taking a 20-10 win. Offensively, they look crisp, getting their running backs involved in the game. A.J. Green being A.J. Green, and those complements receivers, Sanu, and those guys really taking advantage of the opportunities they've been given, catching the ball, making plays. This is going to be a defensive matchup. And I understand the Packers secondary isn't exceptional, but they do get pass rush. They do find ways to get to the quarterback, and that's what's key for them and makes their corners look very good. I expect them to hang tough because they have Aaron Rodgers. He can do what he needs to do and get points on the board because he's an effective signal caller. Now, of course, it's all going to be contingent on the run, but with these two quarterbacks, there's no telling what can happen here. We could have a shootout on our hands in this football game, but I expect the defenses to step up and make it difficult for these offenses to score. But I'm going to take the Packers in this one. The Packers are on a roll. Aaron Rodgers is just lighting folks up. If they're gonna go huddle and you're gonna be able to get pressure and sacks, well, you know what? He's gonna figure you out, and he's just gonna say, okay, we just want to allow you to substitute, and we'll just go no huddle, and I'll just pick you apart and march right down the field and score. And I expect him to do that this weekend, unfortunately for the Cincinnati Bengals. But this is going to be a great matchup, but Aaron Rodgers is going to do what he needs to do to get the win. It's going to be a great ball game, though. Don't miss it. Well, again, we thank you for watching our show. If you have any comments on our show, leave them at the bottom of our page. As always, if you have something you'd like to hear us discuss on this show, if you have a topic that you want to hear our take on, shoot us an email to straightshootingst@gmail.com. And as always, subscribe to the show. Again, you've been watching Straight Shooting Sports Talk.